The football up and down deep. Harrison and Browner are spread around the goal line. The sun is shining brightly here now. The skies have cleared beautifully. Believe it or not, in 2.5 games, this young freshman quarterback, Mark Herman, in 2.5 ball games, has completed 58 out of 92 with 6 touchdowns. And here's the kickoff, and it's deep. Harrison is down 7 yards in, but he will not run it out. Browner says no. You are too deep in there. 5 yards is deep enough, but 7 yards is too much. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, and the Irish will put it in play at that point. It is the 90th year of football here at Purdue. They started back in 1887. It is the 54th season for this stadium, Ross Aid Stadium. However, it has been enlarged 4 times. Notre Dame in a huddle back at the 10-yard line. They have a first down at their own 20. And here come the Irish up to the line of scrimmage. In the backfield, Orsini and Evans in the handoff to Evans, and Evans cracks over the right tackle. Out to the 25. He's down to the 26-yard line before Willie Harris comes up to make the tackle. Red Arrington was in on the play, too. That ball is put down with the tip end of it right short by maybe a foot of the 30-yard line. So it's 9.5 yards on the play. It'll be second down 0.5 yard for the Irish. Rusty Lish, who started the ball game, was replaced by Gary Forsback in the second quarter and then came back to take over when Forsback was injured, is calling the signals. The setbacks are strong to the right. 0.5 yard to go now, and here's the snap. Lish is back to throw. The rush is on. He looks. He dumps it off to Evans. Evans has it at the 29, gets out to the 30-yard line to the 32 before Lee Lawkins wraps him up.
Well, Notre Dame trying the pass, trying to mix it up in their attack. Gets the ball out to about the 32-yard line, and a flag goes down, and apparently there's going to be a penalty coming up against one of the teams. Coming over to talk to the referee is Orsini, the fullback. The ball will be on about the 30-yard line. And it looks like the Fighting Irish will get an unnecessary roughness call against them as they break out of the huddle.
They have it at the 16-yard line, and they break out in a hurry. It is first down for the Irish from the 16, and they've got to go to the 42 for a 1st and 10. Orsini and Jerome Evans. Rolling out to the left is Lish. He looks. He throws on the run. It is caught on the sideline. Put out of bounds was Tom Doman. Doman made the catch up at the 35-yard line, but he went out of bounds to make it. So it is incomplete, and back it comes. 24-14, Purdue leads Notre Dame by 10 points. The third quarter is just underway here at West Lafayette, Indiana. Al Wester, Pat Sheridan, Buck Jersey, our mutual crew. We've been here many times. Our mutual microphones have covered the action of Purdue and Notre Dame, and we've had some exciting ones. Here's Waymer, split out to the left. Haynes is out to the right. Rolling to the left in a pitch. Back to Waymer, coming back around, and Waymer turns and comes on the reverse back around out to the 15, up to the 17-yard line before Pat Harris corners him. Lish, using the option, making the option move to the left, instead pitched it back, gave it back to the wide receiver coming back around. Hughes missed his block on Harris there, or if he had Harris, we would not have had a problem. We'd have had a big gainer.
Well, Harris has come up with another key play that makes 2 for him for the Purdue team. Got by the block and made the stop.
At the 18-yard line now, it is third down, 3rd and 23 for the Irish, and Lish is back to throw. He'll have to go long. The receivers are covered. He runs with it up to the 20, out to the 24. Rusty Lish gets to the 25-yard line, and he is down on the near sideline, right on the corner of the Purdue bench. Dean Borgione in on that tackle to stop him. It's put down at the 26-yard line. It'll be 4th down for the Irish. They go into punt formation, 4th and 15. The line of scrimmage is the Notre Dame 26. Back into punt formation is Kevin Muno, and here's the snap. A nice high spiral. It's grabbed on the free catch at the 35-yard line. Making the catch is Jerome King. A 40-yard kick and no return. So Purdue will take over at that 35.
So Notre Dame had bad field position to punt from, and thus Purdue gets the ball in pretty good shape on its own 35-yard line. Here comes Mark Herman again.
Herman has him up to the line. Both his receivers are split wide. Herman drops back 12 yards, looks, throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of his intended receiver, John Skavinsky. The big fullback curled right out of the backfield, up at the 37-yard line, but he couldn't hold on to the football.
The area vacated by the linebackers, they call that a dead spot in the zone defense, and it just went off of his hands. He's caught everything that's come his way all year from Mark Herman, but this time he just couldn't hold on.
Skavinsky now is in the backfield with Russell Pope as Pope replaces Mike Brown at one of the setbacks. They are spread wide. Herman with his hands under the center. Drops back to 10, 12 yards. The rush is on, and Ross Browner's got him. Browner finally brought him down for the first big sack of the day back on the 18-yard line. The All-American playing defensive left end got through. What a tremendous rush Browner put on him. A loss of 17 yards.
Well, I thought that Dan Devine would counteract the strategy used by Purdue in the second half somehow. They've been putting two men on Browner, and this time Ross got through. Even with two men, you can't deny him during a ball game.
That will bring up third down, 3rd and 26 for Purdue from their own 18-yard line. The handoff this time is given to Russell Pope over the left tackle out to the 20, to the 24. He's scrambling as he tries to dig his cleats in and not get those knees touching the ground, but they did touch at the 23. Doug Becker makes the tackle. He pinned him up at the 23-yard line. That will bring up 4th down and punt formation. And Dave Egan stands back at the 8-yard line for Purdue. Bergmeyer and Harrison are the deep backs for Notre Dame, and the kick is a long one. It bounces at the 33. It is tipped. It goes down to about the 20. There's a timeout here with the score. Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. Notre Dame with the first down at the 33-yard line. Lish passes. A shot right over the left side to the 42-yard line to Ken McAfee. It's complete, and the Irish have, I believe, have a first down. They do. They have the first down. The officials indicating now that it's a first down up at the 43-yard line. So right out with the pistols red hot and firing away is Rusty Lish as he moves Notre Dame to the 43. They trail by 10, 24-14. Purdue in front of the Irish. 10:55 remaining in the third quarter. Notre Dame with the first down at their 43-yard line. And here's Evans taking the handoff and tracking out over the right tackle to the 45 and on the way to the 48-yard line. Jerome Evans finally wrestled down by Dean Borgione. Borgione makes the stop right there at the 49. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio
Win
network.
tickets to Notre Dame games. Keep listening to WAIT Chicago for details.
The Irish break the huddle at the 40. They come up to the 49-yard line. Haynes is split out to the right about 10 yards, and wide to the left is Waymer. And in motion to the left is Jerome Evans. And here's a handoff to Evans, slanting off the left tackle. He's over the midfield stripe. He's down to the 47-yard line of Purdue. Hit down at the 47-yard line by Kevin Motz, the right side linebacker of the Boilermakers. 9 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. No scoring in the second half. It was Purdue ahead 10-0. Then Notre Dame taking over 14-10. Then the Boilermakers charging back, and at halftime they led 24-14, and that's the score at the moment. Here come the Irish up to the line, and a quick snap and a quarterback sneak by Rusty Lish. On a 3rd down 1 situation, Lish kept the ball and dived straight ahead, and I believe he's got the first down.
Notre Dame is starting to put it together now, using the pops off tackle, end arounds, and also the short pops over the middle, the short passes by Rusty Lish to McAfee. They have started to get their attack together, and this looks like they're starting to string together now a well-coordinated drive.
Orsini and Evans are the setbacks. Behind quarterback Rusty Lish and Doman. Tom Doman is out wide to the right, and here is Lish keeping it and pitching it out at the last moment to Steve Orsini. He turns the corner. He fumbles the football at the 45-yard line. Purdue has recovered. Turner put the locks on Rusty Lish. Lish picks the ball out at the last moment. Marcus Jackson then got a hold of the football over there, made the recovery, and it is Purdue's football. They have a first down at their own 47-yard line.
Keena Turner, third time in a row he stopped that option. Notre Dame has tried him, and they have not found him wanting.
Burrell and Ray Smith are wide to the left now as the handoff is given up this time to Mike Brown. Swinging wide to the left side. He turns the left corner, gets to the 50-yard line, just shy of the midfield stripe by maybe a stride. Jim Browner, the free safety of the Irish, meets him right there and knocks him out of bounds on the near sideline. He may have picked up 3 yards on the play, so let's call it second down and 7 for Purdue. The tip into the ball is at the midfield stripe. Purdue is in possession. Beautiful field position. 24-10 they lead. 24-14 they lead by 10. Purdue 24, the Irish 14. Now Herman under the center. Dropping straight back. Sets up at 12 yards. Being rushed. And grabbing it is Ken Dyke, the big left tackle of Notre Dame. Wrestles him down at the 38-yard line for a sizable loss. About 12 yards. That will bring up third down for the Boilermakers with the ball at their 38-yard line.
Notre Dame could have been in deep trouble had not Dyke come up with a big defensive play. And now the field position is taken back slightly as Purdue has 19 to go on third down.
As they break the huddle, Reggie Arnold goes wide to the left. Ray Smith is out to the right-hand side. Here's the snap, and Mr. Herman goes back to set up again and throw, and he rifles one down there. It is just short of his intended receiver, Reggie Arnold, and down went Herman. A tremendous pass rush by Scott Zedek and Jay Case. They came barreling in. They had him on the ground.
The Irish have started to let it go now at the line of scrimmage. They're getting their linemen in. First it was Ross Browner, then Dyke, and now Scott Zedek getting in and hurrying the passer.
Dave Egan is back in front formation for Purdue. And Bergmeyer and Harrison are the deep backs for the Irish. And here's the kick. It's a high sailor. Fair catch called for by Bergmeyer. He's got it at the 23. With the score, Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. There's a timeout on the field. Now this for the Teamsters. Notre Dame now puts it into play. First and 10 at their own 22-yard line. And here's Lish rolling out to the right-hand side with good protection. He throws incomplete at the 35-yard line. Intended there for Big Ken McAfee. Pat Harris was right there with him. The ball was just a little too low.
Some scores from around the country. Ohio State 28 and Oklahoma 20 in the fourth quarter. In the third quarter, Arizona 24, Iowa nothing. Final score, Michigan 14, Navy 7. Another final, Michigan State 34 and Wyoming 16.
Second down and 10 for the Irish from their 22-yard line. Waymer is wide to the right, and Haynes is split out to the left. And back goes Lish to set up and throw. He dumps it over the middle again, and it's incomplete once more. Again, he was shooting for the big target, Ken McAfee. Did McAfee got the football. He made the catch right off the top of the ground. Great catch by Ken McAfee up at the 28-yard line.
That was like a shoestring catch of an outfielder coming in to get a Texas League pop fly. And McAfee did a tremendous job because he knew the hit was awaiting him.
Ken has caught 5 passes this afternoon for a total of 37 yards. Third down, 3rd and 5. Notre Dame at their own 28-yard line. Both receivers split out. The 2 setbacks are wide. Here is Lish dropping back 7, 8, 10 yards. The rush is on now. He's having to scramble. He looks, he throws, incomplete. Intended it for Steve Orsini at about the 25-yard line. That looked like a screen that never really got going.
No, it didn't, because Orsini was sandwiched between Arrington and Marcus Jackson. They were right there. So really, I think Lish considered throwing away the ball, then finally did.
It is 4th down for Notre Dame at their own 28-yard line, and they trail by 10 points. Half of this third quarter is over. There's 7 minutes and 3 seconds remaining. And back into punt formation goes Kevin Muno. The deep backs are sitting back there, Jerome King and Pat Harris. They're waiting at about the 40-yard line of the Boilermakers. Here's the snap right there. Muno steps forward. Short, wobbly kick, low, hits at the midfield stripe, goes to the 45. It will be touchdown at the Purdue 44-yard line. They have excellent position.
They certainly do, and this is just where Dan Devine and his staff do not want Mark Herman to be firing passes from with those very quick wide receivers, Raymond Smith and Eddie Arnold. And we saw how they can take them all the way anytime they get the ball.
Arnold comes out of the huddle, wide to the left. That's Ray Smith out to the right. The setback split is Mark Herman. Goes up under the center, hands outstretched. Takes the snap, drops back 10, 12 yards over the middle. He's got his big tight end, Ray Smith. Ray Smith has the football at the 45 and goes to the midfield stripe. Knocked down at the midfield stripe, and that was John Skavinsky rolling out of the backfield there. John Skavinsky making the catch out of the backfield and getting it up to the midfield stripe. A gain of 6 big yards for Purdue. The Boilermakers have a 2nd down and 4 coming. They line up in the I formation, and Notre Dame sets up a 4-3 defensive element to try and put the pass rush on. Now they move the 5th man up there. And handing it off, and straight ahead goes Skavinsky, the big fullback. He's got more than enough for the 1st down as he goes to the Notre Dame 46-yard line.
That's only been the 3rd time they've ripped a good hole in the Notre Dame defensive line. On the right side of the line, Steve McKenzie did the big job. He opened up the hole. McKenzie, a De La Salle graduate, other graduates of that school, pretty good quarterback in his day. Now, of course, the late Mayor Daley, and of course, the athletic director of Notre Dame, Moose Krause.
Russ Pope comes in the backfield for Mike Brown. So it's Pope and Skavinsky at the setbacks. And Pope is a wingback out to the right-hand side as Herman goes back to throw and hits him with a pass. He's got the ball at the 45-yard line of the Irish, and he is down at the Irish 43, down by Jim Browner.
Good play by Browner. He was all over Pope as he got the ball, and Pope did not have a chance to accelerate and use his very, very good speed, a 4.6 in the 40. Most successful area on the passes now for Purdue is the dead area right in front of the linebackers after they make the drop back. Either the tight end or the fullback is the man that gets it.
Purdue in possession. They are at the Notre Dame 43-yard line with a 2nd down, 7 coming up. A long 7 yards. Both receivers are wide. And here is Herman rolling to the left. He looks, he rifles one over the head of an intended receiver, Ray Smith, down to the 25-yard line. Diving at the ball was Jim Browner, but Browner had no chance to intercept. 24-14, the Boilermakers of Purdue in front of this ball game with 5 minutes and 16 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. We're very happy that you've joined us here on Mutual, across the country and around the world, as we bring you the Notre Dame-Purdue football game, and it's a beaut. Arnold is wide to the right. Ray Smith is out to the left as Purdue lines up for a 3rd down, 7 situation at the Notre Dame 43. And here goes Herman back in the pocket, looks over the middle, tries to throw the little look-in pattern, curling out of the backfield. Russell Pope can't get to the ball. In the 2nd half, Herman has completed 2 of 6 passes for only 9 yards. So the Irish are tightening up. They're not giving him the ground they gave him in the 1st half.
I think part of that is due to the fact that their Notre Dame is getting a far better rush, and that's hurt the timing of the Purdue pass plays.
Dave Egan is back in punt formation. And for Notre Dame, it is Bergmeyer and Harrison. And here's the kick. It's a high one, end over end. Bergmeyer lets it hit at the 3. It goes into the end zone. And out of the back of the end zone, it will be a touchback, and Notre Dame will take over at their 20-yard line. All right, the Irish come up to the line of scrimmage at 20-yard line. Both receivers are split out wide, and here's a handoff on a draw. Up the middle with the handoff on the draw is Dale Mitchell. And Dave Mitchell bounces out to about the 22-yard line and is knocked down right there. Linebacker Fred Arrington makes the tackle. And Fred Arrington is some kind of a linebacker.
Oh, he's had a super game this afternoon. There it was. The hole was open for Mitchell. Mitchell very quick, got to the hole fast, did the right thing, but Arrington just blew right into it and blew Mitchell down.
Arrington, shaken up on that play, has come to the sidelines and has been replaced in the backfield. Evans goes into a slot off to the left-hand side. It is 2nd down, Notre Dame, 2nd and 9. Lish rolls out to the left. He looks, he throws. It's good. It's caught over there by Ty Dickerson at the 40. Dickerson is down at the 44-yard line. Great catch by the little wide receiver. He went right down the sidelines. He beat the cornerback, Pat Harris. He made the grab.
Nothing fancy in that play. That's the kind of play where the coach says, you got the speed, son, just run, go. He did. 23-yard catch.
That's called the fly pattern for good reason. You just put it in second and you fly. Al Wester along with Pat Sheridan, Buck Jersey, and our mutual crew. Our executive producer in charge of sports, Jack Clements, in the booth with us today. 24-14, and here is Lish rolling out to the right-hand side with a first down at the 44. He keeps it, comes to the 45, the midfield stripe. He's out of bounds right in front of the Purdue bench at about the Purdue 47-yard line. Rolling out and going out of bounds, and let's see where they bring it in. They're going to bring it in at the Purdue 48-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down. Yesterday, the prediction was 90% chance of rain all day long. We look for another dreary, rainy day here in Lafayette, Indiana. Instead, it's been a beautiful afternoon. It is sunshine bright. 24-14, Purdue shining at the same time. Second down and 2, and here's the handoff, and stutter stepping with the football, Dave Mitchell. Cracks to the right side, but he does not get too much. He picked up maybe a yard as he got down to about the 46-yard line. Marcus Jackson puts the wraps on him. The Irish huddle between the 40 and 45-yard line. McPhee has caught 5. McAfee has 5 catches for a total of 37 yards. And here we are with third down and 2 inches maybe to go. As the Irish have both tight ends in there, and they come up right on the line in a tight formation, and there's the quarterback sneak as Lish on the keeper. Sticks his shoulders down and just drives his helmet straight forward. Great blocking up in the middle there on these keeper plays, as Dave Huffman, the center, just might be an All-American this year, because this young man, a junior from Dallas, Texas, has great strength and great ability, and they do get the first down. The Irish have the first down at the Purdue 45-yard line.
Well, Dave Huffman also has a younger brother who's moved in to be the number 2 right tackle right behind Steve McDaniels.
15 first downs for Notre Dame, 15 first downs for Purdue, but the Boilermakers lead by 10. The Irish with the first down at the Boilermakers 45-yard line. The handoff is given this time to Jerome Evans, and Evans cracks over the right tackle. He got maybe 2 yards at the most. As the whole Purdue linebacking core and the cornerbacks converged and stopped him immediately. Fred Arrington, who was shaken up on the last series, is back in there at the linebacker slot. He loves contact. Orsini goes out of the football game, and I believe it's Mitchell that has replaced him. It is. So Dave Mitchell and Jerome Evans are the setbacks as the Irish have a second down 8 coming up from the 43-yard line. Lish rolling out to the left side. He sets. He pumps and throws. Intercepted by Tina Turner at the midfield stripe. Out of bounds in front of the Notre Dame bench at the Notre Dame 48-yard line. Tina Turner makes the interception and runs it back.
When you play the 5-2, the ends are really linebackers. They drop off on pass plays. Turner dropped into his zone on the right side out of the flat. The ball came right to him. And, of course, Turner, that great athlete from Chicago, and that is the 4th Notre Dame turnover.
Purdue lines up now with Mike Brown and John Skavinsky, the setbacks in the I formation, and Herman rolling out to the left and throwing for the sidelines, incomplete. His pass was intended for Ray Smith. Jim Browner was right there with him and knocked the ball away at the Notre Dame 43-yard line. That will bring up second down for the gold and black of Purdue. They bring the ball back to the ball is on the 49-yard line, actually, of Purdue. Second and 10. Reggie Arnold is coming to the sidelines. He has been replaced in the Purdue lineup by number 87, Bart Burrell. Now there's a wingback off to the right. Back goes Herman. He looks and throws over the middle, just off the fingertips of Mike Brown. Brown curled out of the backfield. That's one of his favorite plays, apparently. Herman likes to get one of the backs, either Skavinsky or Pope or Mike Brown, curling out of the backfield and throwing to them.
They've been working the dead zone in front of the Notre Dame linebackers all afternoon, either to the tight end or to the fullback or to the other back in the backfield. The linebackers drop, throw right in front of them.
All right, Ray Smith returns to the lineup, and Smith is wide left. Arnold is out to the right. Herman, his hands outstretched, takes the ball from Schlunt, drops back to throw. The rush is on. He is snowed under back on the 35-yard line. Scott Zedek got to him. Russ Browner was right behind Mr. Zedek. But the Chicago Express, J.K., Scott Zedek, Ross Browner, all three in on him. The Chicago Express, they called Zedek, came barreling through. That is the third sack they have put on the young quarterback, the freshman quarterback, Mark Herman, and the ball is down at the 36-yard line of Purdue, and they go into kick formation. Bergmeyer and Harrison are deep. Here's the snap and the kick by Egan. A high sailor. It's picked off by Harrison at the 10, the 12. He's knocked down at the 12. Rusty Lish takes the snap of the football, hands it off to Dave Mitchell, and Mitchell swings out wide to the right-hand side. He's out to the 25. He's up to the 28-yard line. He is hit down, and wait a minute. He's fumbled the football. He has fumbled the football, and Lee Larkins has recovered. It is Purdue's football at the Notre Dame 30-yard line. What a break. The Boilermakers have it. And here is Herman on the first snap, taking the ball and giving it to Skavinsky, and Skavinsky goes straight ahead. Over the 30, he gets down to the Notre Dame 28-yard line. Scott Zedek in on the play, Bob Golick there, and Doug Becker, all three responsible for the stop. A gain of 2 yards for Purdue, and the Boilermakers have a 2nd down and 8 situation coming up. They are in possession at the Irish 28. As they break the huddle, Ray Smith is deployed out to the right-hand side. That's Reggie Arnold split out to the left, and the setbacks are wide. And Herman takes 2 steps back, drops in, throws it over the middle. The ball is knocked down by Bob Golick. A quick turn in, a very, very fast turn in there, intended for Dave Young, the big freshman wide receiver. He turned in at the 15-yard line. Had he caught that football, he'd have been off to the races.
It looked like he was going to catch it, except for a superb effort by Golick coming from his little middle linebacker spot, sticking up his arms. The defense has done the job here in the second half.
All right, Herman has completed 2 of 9 now for only 9 yards in this second half. It is 3rd down and 8, and back goes Herman. He sets up 12 yards back. He looks and barrels one down the middle. It is complete at the 9-yard line. Making the catch is Bart Burrell. Bart Burrell, alternating with Reggie Arnold. Burrell, who is a classmate in high school of Mark Herman. Both went to Carmel High. He was a teammate. He is a freshman also. He and Herman together. Herman was disappointed originally when he didn't enroll in school. Burrell came a few weeks later on the football scholarship. The ball is inside of the 10-yard line. It is 1st and goal for Purdue. At the Notre Dame 9.5, and there is a pass, a lofty one lifted into the end zone and out of the back of the end zone. It was intended there for Reggie Arnold. He was followed closely by Ted Bergmeyer.
Bergmeyer has been superb all afternoon. I don't think there has been a single assignment where he hasn't performed on it perfectly, even though a touchdown was scored on his side by Reggie Arnold. Bergmeyer actually had perfect coverage on there, just like he did in the last play.
We have 24 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter here at West Lafayette, Indiana. Purdue leads Notre Dame 24-14, and Purdue is knocking on the door again. Here comes a big 2nd down play. They have the ball at the Notre Dame 9-yard line. It is 2nd down and goal to go. And Mark Herman with the snap of the ball starts on the option down the right side, and he is snowed under and tied up at the 10-yard line. Herman is not a runner, let me say that. The option play befuddles him a little. He has a great arm. And the question was, if he starts trying to run the football or has to eat the football, can he stand the punishment? He has done it so far this afternoon. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down Purdue at the Notre Dame 9-yard line. There's the gun, the end of the 3rd quarter with a score. Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. Now this for Pennzoil.
Starting the fourth quarter, Purdue has the ball on the Notre Dame 9-yard line, leads 24-14. In yards passing, Purdue has 281, Notre Dame 161. Yards rushing, 99 Notre Dame and 5 for Purdue. First downs, Notre Dame 15, Purdue 16.
It is third down for Purdue at the Irish 9-yard line. Third and goal, and here's the quarterback, Mark Weimer, back to throw. He goes to the end zone corner. Out of the end zone goes Reggie Arnold after the football, and Ted Bergmeyer was right there with him. An incompleted forward pass, and that'll bring in the field goal contingent. But let's pause briefly now for station identification. This is Mutual, your news and sports radio network.
Stay tuned today for 2 hours of sports talk with Michael Haggerty, plus all the scores and action of today's game on WAIT Chicago.
Scott Sovereign will attempt a field goal with the ball spotted at about the 17-yard line. He's kicked from the 25 already. Here's the snap. The ball is down. Flags on the play as he gets a kick off. It is wide to the left, but the flags were flying before he ever got the kick off. Illegal motion. Illegal procedure against Purdue. The Boilermakers have the ball, the line of scrimmage at the 15-yard line. They will try the field goal again. The line of scrimmage moves out to the 15. They will try to kick from the 22, a 32-yard shot. The kick, this time it is up. It is on the way, and it is wide again. It is no good. So, with the score, Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. First and 10 for the Irish, and Joe Montana is quarterbacking now as he rolls out to the right. With a play-action pass, he throws on the run to the big tight end, to Ken McAfee, incomplete. Up at the 30-yard line, dropping back with fine coverage was Lee Larkin for Purdue. Lish completed 14 of 25 for 149 yards. And beginning the fourth quarter here, junior Joe Montana. Quite a football player. He won 2 great ball games back in '75 with some fantastic passing against North Carolina and the Air Force Academy from Monongahela, Pennsylvania. It is second down 10 for the Irish from the I formation against Montana with the snap. He's back with a long pass, throws it over the middle. He's got his man at the 45-yard line. It's complete to Ken McAfee. The big tight end went deep on this one. 26 yards for McAfee. First down, Notre Dame.
And Willie Harris had the unfortunate thing happen to him of running into McAfee after McAfee had secured the ball and started to move ahead. So he was running into 250 pounds, and he can still feel it.
6 catches for 63 yards for McAfee now. As the Irish break the huddle, wide to the right goes Dave Weimer. Split out to the left is Chris Haynes. Montana, his hands under the center, and Dave Huffman over the ball. Snap. Back goes Montana to throw. He looks, he rifles one. He's got his man. It's caught at the 30-yard line. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Chris Haynes with a great catch over his shoulder. And the Irish are moving the football.
Well, it didn't take long for Montana to get the Irish moving. A 25-yard pass. First, a big heave to McAfee right up the middle. McAfee was in front of the safety, right in front of the safety's drop, and then a little curl pattern to the outside for more yardage. So Notre Dame has it on the go.
There's a timeout here now with an injured player on the field. And there's a timeout with the score. Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. Completed 2 out of 3 for 51 yards. The Irish have first down at the Purdue 29-yard line. Montana has the snap. He drops back to throw, and the rush is on, and he rifles one out there intended for the tight end Ken McAfee at the 20-yard line. McAfee goes down. He cannot get to the football with Rock Supan over the top of him. An incompleted pass. It comes back to the original line of scrimmage. Ball will be put down at the Purdue 29-yard line. The Irish trail by 10. There's plenty of time to go, but they're down 24-14 as the Boilermakers First went in front by a score of 10-0, then fought back after the Irish made it 14-10, and it's Purdue 24, Notre Dame 14. Second down, 10. Irish in possession at the Purdue 29-yard line. Montana with the drop. He sets up, he looks, he throws the wobbly one. It's caught at the 10-yard line. Down at the 10-yard line after a great catch over there is young Haynes. Chris Haynes made the grab at the 12, and he made a circus catch of the football.
Sensational catch because the ball was tipped in the first place, and it looked like a wounded duck when he got it up 10-yard line. Then Jerome King was in front of him. The safety was behind him. They had him in a place like a sandwich.
It is 1st and 10 for Notre Dame at the Purdue 10-yard line, and the Irish are moving the ball now behind Joe Montana. Montana comes up to the line, but there's so much noise in the end zone coming out of the churn section. He holds up his hand. He says, I've got to have a little bit of time here. 13 minutes and 49 seconds remaining now. The Irish trail by 10, 24-14, and they come up to the line of scrimmage at the 10-yard line. They can make a first down at the goal line on the Purdue goal line. Rolling out to the right side is Montana. He sets, he looks, he goes into the end zone, up in the air. They go for the football. Incomplete. It is knocked away from the outstretched hands of Ken McAfee. Kevin Motz and Rock Supan are the two defenders in the end zone there that beat the big tight end of the Irish.
Montana gambled on that play, sending the pass to McAfee because there were 3 men around him, and there was a great chance of an interception by Purdue. But luckily enough, McAfee not only has the ability to catch the ball, but he also has the ability to help the other guy bat it down when he doesn't have a chance to get it.
All right, big. They have not changed the down marker, have they? It is second down, and goal to go. Second and 10 from the 10-yard line. Pass thrown out in the flat to Jim Stone. Stone catches it at the 10, coming to the near sidelines and goes out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. He's beat out over there to the sidelines by Willie Harris, and Harris sandwiches him outside. It is brought in. It's placed down at the 6-yard line. So now the Irish have a third down, a 3rd and 6 from the 6. They can get a first down on the goal line.
The defense has given the offense a chance. Notre Dame defense stopping Mark Herman in the second half. And now Joe Montana has the offense rolling.
Down at the 6-yard line. It is 3rd and 6. Notre Dame at the Purdue 6-yard line, and Montana with the snap. Fakes one way, then the other, turns and throws it short. In the end zone, he slipped down on his knee. The intended receiver was Ken McAfee. Dean Bergioni and Jeff Sineker both put a real rush on quarterback Joe Montana, and Montana had to throw in a hurry. There have been 72 passes thrown in this ball game, believe it or not. Purdue has thrown 36. Notre Dame has thrown 36. Purdue has completed 18, and the Irish 19. It is 4th down for Notre Dame, and they will attempt a field goal. Dave Reed will kick the ball. It'll be placed down at the 14-yard line, a 24-yard shot. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up. It is on the way. It is good. It's good. The Irish have a field goal up there. So there's a timeout here with the score. Purdue 24, Notre Dame 17. All set for the kickoff. Ready to kick the ball is Dave Reed for Notre Dame. Russell Pope and Rick Moss are down deep, and it is a short kick, and it is brought back out to the 35-yard line by Tim Eubank. A short kick by Reed. Mark it up as an 8-yard return, and the ball is put down at the 38-yard line of Purdue, and the Boilermakers have excellent field position. The ball is brought in at the hash marks from the near sideline. Purdue breaks a huddle and comes up to the line of scrimmage. They lead by 7 points. Purdue minus 1 yard in the third quarter offensively. Here's a quick snap. Back goes the quarterback. He dumps the ball off to Shabinsky. Skavinsky makes a catch at the 38 and gets on to the 40-yard line, but there were flags on the play. And at the last moment, apparently audibilizing, I can't imagine a freshman quarterback being proficient enough to audibilize. Anyway, he moved Mike Brown, his running back, into the slot. Brown was moving forward, had not come to a position, a stop position. Consequently, illegal motion against Purdue. 5 yards. They'll step it off. In penalties, 69 stepped off against Notre Dame today. A total of 47 against Purdue. That will bring up 1st and 15 for the Boilermakers from their 33-yard line. Brown and Skavinsky are the setbacks. Herman back to throw and looks. He goes to the sidelines. It is caught over there. And the minute it was caught up at the 42-yard line by Ray Smith, he was nailed. He was knocked down. Leroy Leopold. Bobby Leopold, they call him. Makes a tackle for the Irish at the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 10 yards on the play. Just a little turn-in pattern there. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Boilermakers from their 42. And again, both receivers are wide. Herman, back 8, 10 yards, over the middle. Got his fullback, Skavinsky. Skavinsky has it up at the 45 and on to the 47. Ted Bergmeyer wrapped around one leg and just held on for dear life.
That's the play where they throw right in front of the linebackers in the dead part of the zone. About 5 yards in front of the linebackers. First, he looks out to the cornerback on the right side as he goes deep, and then quickly throws right over the middle after Notre Dame's backs go for his eye fake. Here comes the measurement of the ball. It is first down for the Purdue Boilermakers. 12:19 to go. Purdue leads 24-17.
The ball is at the Purdue 48-yard line. And now Mark Herman has completed 20 of 38 passes so far in the game for 296 yards. As the Boilermakers come up to the line, Ray Smith and Reggie Arnold both are wide to the right-hand side. Herman, with his hands under the center, has the snap and gives it off to Brown. And Brown comes wide to the right. He turns the corner. He's at the midfield stripe. He's down to the Notre Dame 45-yard line on his way to the 43. Denny Leverett was carrying that football, made the turn on the right corner, penetrated the Notre Dame 45-yard line, and it is very close to another first down. It'll be 2nd down, about 1.5 yards to go. An 8.5-yard gain for the Boilermakers. They have the ball at the Notre Dame 43.5. And they line up with both ends wide in the I formation. Herman faking to Leverett and giving it off to Shabinsky, and Shabinsky cracks through the right side. He went over the right tackle down to the 40-yard line, and he is stopped there by Ross Browner after making the first down.
So Purdue gets its ground game going a little. Benny Leverett, by the way, is about a 9'9" man in the 100, and his run in that last series was the key one. He is very, very fast and one of several Floridians on the Purdue team.
First down for Purdue at the Notre Dame 40-yard line. 24-17 they lead. Mike Brown is back in there as the setback along with Shabinsky, but it's a quick pass over the line that's intercepted, picked off by Luther Bradley at the 35, the 40, the midfield stripe. He's down to the 40. He's out of bounds at the 35-yard line of Purdue. An interception by Bradley and a great run back by the Notre Dame cornerbacks. John Lefebvre finally wrestled him down, and Notre Dame now has a big break.
Well, either Mark Herman threw in the wrong zone, or one of his receivers just plain missed his assignment. There was no Purdue receiver in the area. He threw right into Bradley's zone, and Bradley grabbed it. Probably Purdue's wide receiver made the wrong turn, made the wrong pattern.
Notre Dame's 4th interception of the ball game. Now they have possession, trailing by a touchdown. Here in the 4th quarter, they have possession at the 36-yard line of Purdue. Joe Montana drops straight back. Rolling out to the right now. The rush is on for him. He looks and he rifles one. It's caught for the big tight end McAfee at the 18. He's to the 15. He's down to the 13-yard line. What a pass by Montana. He was running to his right. He threw against the grain. He hit his man 20 yards away. 22 yards on that pass from Joe Montana to Ken McAfee. It's first down, Notre Dame at the Purdue 13-yard line. Plenty of time in this ball game for anything to happen. The Irish break the huddle and come up to the line. Doman is wide out to the left. Haynes is to the right. Here is Montana rolling to his left. He's got time. He looks. He throws in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! Notre Dame! Montana hits Ken McAfee for the score. What a play and what a quarterback. I remember the two games because I was there at the Mutual microphones covering Notre Dame's victory over North Carolina and Notre Dame's impossible come-from-behind victory over the Air Force. And Notre Dame will give Dave Reed the opportunity to tie the ball game up. Waiting for the snap. Back it comes. It's low. There's a whistle on the play, though. Penalty against the Irish. Delay of the ball game. Too much time. Dave Reed needs this one to tie it up. Here's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is on the way. It is good. It's tied up. It's all tied up. Notre Dame 24, Purdue 24, and we'll have more after this special 30-second message. Plenty of time for this ball game to develop into even higher scores. We've had almost 50 points scored. Here's the kickoff. A sailor. It bounces right in front of Russell Pope, and it goes into the end zone, and it goes out of the back end. Pope and Rick Moss were down deep at the goal line as that kick, a sailor by Dave Reeves, bounces and goes out. It'll come out to the 20-yard line, and it will be Purdue's football. It's Purdue's football, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. And young Mark Herman now handing it off to Skavinsky, and Skavinsky off the left tackle. He splashes out over the 25, up to the 27-yard line before Doug Becker wrestles him down at the 27 on the far sideline. Gain of 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for the Boilermakers. They alternate number 88, Tim Eubank, and number 80, Dave Young, at the tight end. They call them tight ends, but both are fleet, very quick, good receivers. Herman brings him up to the line for a 2nd down and 3 situation from his own 27. Hands it off to Skavinsky, and Skavinsky sweeps around the left side with the 30, the 35, up to the 40-yard line before Bergmeyer wraps around his ankles and brings him down at the 41. There's a gain of 14 yards and a 1st down for Purdue.
They're starting now to take advantage of the aggressiveness of Scott Zedek on the outside. Zedek is making the inside move. On the last 2 plays, they've sent the fullback Skavinsky on the outside right past it. Scott, of course, is very aggressive and is looking to take a beat on the passer.
Legiano is wide to the left and split out to the right is Ray Smith. Here's Herman with a snap, and Skavinsky going straight ahead, and wham! When he hit the 45-yard line, it was Leroy Leopold who hit him, and it looked like 2 solid trucks head on.
Leroy Leopold, what Dan Devine calls one of his underachievers, a player who plays way beyond his physical capabilities. Whatever it is, Leopold has come on and contributed many times to Notre Dame.
14 carries, 50 yards for John Skavinsky. 871 yards last year he earned. It is 2nd down and 5, and here's a handoff again to Skavinsky. Skavinsky over the left tackle. He's up to the 48, to the midfield stripe, and he is over into Notre Dame territory. He's got a 1st down for the Boilermakers of Purdue. Jeff Weston finally put the stop on him at the 49-yard line of Notre Dame.
I imagine the scouts that Notre Dame has here, the coaches up in the stands, are starting to phone down. 1st down for Purdue, with information on what Purdue is doing on the runs over the right side of Notre Dame's defensive line. And I'm sure Dan Devine and his staff will get together and make some adjustments fast.
8 minutes and 45 seconds with the clock running left in the ball game. 24-24, and what a battle it has been as seesawed back and forth. The Irish with a 4-3 defense now. They put the rush on as Herman goes back to throw and throws over the middle. Almost intercepted down there by number 58, Steve Heimkreider, and Bob Goley. It is incomplete. That pass was intended for Tim Eubank, the big tight end. He is 6'7", and his understudy, Dave Young, is 6'6". They get him big here. Very big indeed. That will bring up 2nd down and 10 for Purdue at the Notre Dame 49-yard line. 24-24. Wide to the right is Ray Smith. Reggie Arnold is out to the left, and there is a slot back out to the left-hand side, and that would be Mike Brown. Here's a handoff to Skabinski on the draw, and he tries to get yardage and can't do it. He's caught behind the line. Big Ken Dyke, the right tackle of Notre Dame, wrapped him up.
Ken Dyke's job on that play was to hang back. Notre Dame started out with a bubble defense, and Purdue sent the fullback on the delay right into the bubble. The bubble was filled by both Dyke and Bob Golick, the middle linebacker. What you see is not what you get.
It's put down on the Notre Dame 49-yard line, the original line of scrimmage, so it is still 3rd and 10. And again, those wide receivers for Purdue are out wide. From the I formation, here's Herman rolling to the left. He looks, he throws. It is almost intercepted. Bergmeyer had it in his hands and couldn't hold on to the football. It was intended, I believe, down there for Dave Young. But it was Bergmeyer who had that ball, and had he held on to the handle from the 40, it would have been a straight trip 60 yards away to pay dirt.
It sure would have been. Bergmeyer has played an excellent game all game long today for Notre Dame on the right side.
Here's Egan back in punt formation at the Purdue 35-yard line on a 4th down. He sends a sailor. Bergmeyer back at the 17, fields the football. 20 up to the 23, flags on the play as he's brought down at the 23-yard line. It's a 33-yard kick and about a 6-yard return. So Notre Dame with 7 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the football game, and a 24-24 tie with Purdue. We'll have to go at it offensively, but before they do, those flags indicate a clipping penalty, Pat.
That's right, clipping against Notre Dame, taking it back to the 10-yard line.
All right, Joe Montana brings them up to the line, at the 10-yard line. Their own 10, 90 yards away. And here's a handoff to Evans, and Evans gets back to the line of scrimmage. Slanting in, driving in there to make the tackle is Kevin Motch. Motch came sailing in there from the right side linebacker spot. Cuts the ball, runner down at the 10-yard line, and there's practically no gain at all. It'll be 2nd down, and let's call it 10 again. Evans is in the backfield there with Dave Mitchell. Montana, long count on the signals. Has the snap. Fakes, rolls to the right. Now he's going to run the football, brings it out. Down the sidelines and out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Just shy of the 15. He runs it across the field laterally and out of bounds at just over the 14-yard line.
Well, now Notre Dame coming up with a big 3rd down play. Montana has nowhere to go with the ball, so he ran it out to just short of the 15-yard line. 3rd down coming up. Coaches would rather have
Huddle. Weymar wide out to the left. Evans and Dave Mitchell are the setbacks. Joe Montana drops back to set up. He's got the time. He looks. He throws off the fingertips of Chris Haynes. Incomplete at the 35. There's the flag across the way. At the 43-yard line. There's the flag. Someone across the way. It was Evans and Fred Arrington who got into the mix-up there at the 43. Where offsetting penalties, that means no one gets any yardage. And Kevin Harris for a fair catch, and he's Denny Leverett takes a handoff there from Mark. Now here comes Mike Brown back into the Purdue back. A superb. Egan has it, steps forward. A wobbly kick, and that might have been partially blocked as it hits at the 45 and goes out of bounds at the Notre Dame 42-yard line. Came out. Wide to the right. Haynes. Montana's under the center, and he drops back and sets up to throw. Plenty of time. He looks, he throws. He's got his man. Complete at the 32 to Chris Haynes. And Haynes is out of bounds at the Purdue. Yards as Joe Montana pass, and they bring it in at the Purdue 32-yard line.
Haynes has gone over 100 yards now in his receptions, and that was one of the big plays. That was the same play that they used in the last drive that they scored on.
First down for the Irish at the Purdue 32-yard line. And Jim down. One of Montana.
Sideline. Montana saw him and threw it as hard as he possibly could into Mitchell's middle. Mitchell got it. He had a chance if he went to the middle of the field to maybe go for extra yardage, but he was
hear it over many of these same mutuals. Will be a great one. This ball game for 114 yards, and the ball is at the . Heavens. Made 6 big. Notre Dame 24. It's a double tied in a line. Raya. And now in front. Goes and drop into the hands and out of Luther Bradley. He's going to